I think the COVID situation, which has obviously been awful in many regards, in most regards, has been amazing for us as an accounting firm because we've just been on the phone to some clients that we perhaps only speak to once, twice a year.
Yes.
And now we've spoken to them 12 times in the last 3 months.
Yes.
But we really feel like we were able to help. We were able to do something in an environment where so many people just couldn't do anything about what was happening around the world. And it gave us a real sense of purpose to say, right, there's been some help made available. How do we make sure that our clients who are eligible can access that? That's been really great.
That was Paul and Paula Murray, my guests today, who are a dynamic duo. In fact, they're a husband and wife team who are the founders of Account Kit.
So much of what we do is sitting in spreadsheets. I'd created so many spreadsheets that did lots of different functions to help us manage the work we do and to help make some of the day-to-day easier. But none of that stuff's connected to our client data. It's all sitting in spreadsheets, which is prone to corruptions, deletion, stuff like that. And somewhere along the way, and I don't know when that point was, so we should build something. Can we build something?
Account Kit is a suite of tools designed to help automate day-to-day compliance and administrative tasks for cloud-based accounting and bookkeeping firms.
It's not built as a conceptual solution. It's built as a real solution to real problems that we're seeing in our own office. And obviously accountants love to talk about their practice and their clients and what they do. And, I think as a general profession, pretty good at sharing ideas. And so every time you go to a conference, we all talk about what's going on. And it was just a matter of us eventually going, actually, all these issues that we're having with this migration to the cloud and using Xero's, we're not alone. There's a lot of people experiencing the same thing. So instead of just building a solution for us, maybe it's something we can adapt and make broadly available.
As well as Account Kit, they also run Murray Business Solutions, which is an accounting firm based in the Adelaide CBD, which has been in operation for 18 years.
I really love the idea that Murray Business Solutions as a firm gives me an avenue personally to say, well, whatever skill set you've got and everyone's got one that's different is fine, but being able to really earmark that into your clients and help them with their business and help them either understand their financials or make their financials happen because it's an area that's a real problem for them or creates a bit of anxiety or just a nuisance and something they have to tick the box with. Or for others, it's really about getting to the nuts and bolts and saying, how can we make it better? How can we make this more efficient? I really love that.
They both have different strengths, which include HR, IT, and self-managed super funds. And they come from a solid accounting family. Both their parents were accountants as well.
Discussions around the dinner table are pretty awesome when we're all together.
That is hilarious. But what I want to know is, how do you work together all day and then come home and be a normal family?
Hi, I'm Paul Murray.
And I'm Paula Murray.
We're from Murray Business Solutions and Account Kit.
Join us for Accountants on Purpose.
Hi, I'm Sarah Bartholomew's from YouLegal. The Accountants on Purpose podcast showcases inspiring accountants who are leaders in their field.
And then it just came to me like a bolt of blue.
What makes them tick?
Love it.
How did they get to where they are? I want to inspire. And what do they do now for their teams, their clients, and the world? What was the last overseas country you visited together?
Oh, we went to Canada, actually. Yeah, we had a white Christmas there in December with the family, with my parents, my sister, her partner, and the kids. It was incredible. Quite an experience.
I was thinking Disneyland. Well, we came back via Disneyland and
LA.
Star Wars Land. Yeah, in Anaheim. That's what I thought of first.
Of course you did.
It's understandable.
Flying saucers.
It is pretty amazing. Describe yourselves as teenagers.
Oh, a bit nerdy. Good at math at school. Oh, just very typical teenager, completely egocentric to some extent. I thought that my world was the only world and focused on that. But I quite enjoyed school and my friends. Grew up in the country and got into that. Spent a lot of time with family. Listened to a lot of U2.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was, I think in early high school, I was pretty shy. But as I got older, started to develop. And I did a lot of competitive swimming. So that had a good impact on the body, which I became more appealing to the ladies. So my year 11 and 12 was much more enjoyable compared to the early years of high school. But I think it was pretty down to earth. And because I'd come from a group of friends where we weren't necessarily accepted in the same light. When you progress through the ranks and become a bit more popular, it meant that you could relate easily to the less popular groups.
Good answers. What material possession can each of you not live without daily?
Daily. For me, it's probably around things like video games, my consoles. That's my escape.
Outlet?
Yeah. So I used to read a lot of books, but got more into video games. Same thing. Escapism, experiencing whole new worlds and appreciating the artwork and things that people create.
How about you, Paula?
I am almost ashamed to say I'm probably my phone, I think.
Yeah.
If I didn't have it, I think I would feel like I'd lost a limb. But just the general connectivity. I'd struggle to let go of work. So being able to keep in touch with emails and the team with Slack and obviously friends and family through all the various apps, etc. And music too. So I quite like to get out and go for a walk or go for a run. So sticking the headphones in and taking the phone for a little run around the park.
What's your go-to run song?
Oh, I've got various playlists. My taste in music is so varied. It goes from anything from the 70s right up to current stuff that I can't pronounce and have absolutely no idea who I'm listening to. But Spotify tells me I should be listening to it, so I give it a go. It depends on the day of the week. Could be anything.
Yep, I'm the same.
Literally anything.
Yeah. Whatever Spotify says is the go-to for the day.
Yeah.
So you guys are a husband and wife team who work together every day, and you've been doing that for 18 years.
Mm-hmm.
What's the secret?
Well, I think to pretend that there was some secret and it was perfect and wonderful every day would be a giant lie, and anyone that's married would know that.
Especially if they work together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look, I think we've always worked together, so to some extent we don't really know any different, but we obviously have 3 children, and so there were probably 10 years in the middle there that I was only part-time. I was working from home and working in the office, and that created a bit of a separation, and it's just our normal now, isn't it? Sometimes we have to walk the other way and decide that we don't agree on the same thing, but for the most part it's pretty congenial, works pretty well.
Yeah.
We have different strengths.
Well, that's what I put it down to, different strengths. So I'm very much into technology, systems, processes, templates. Paula's much more creative in her thinking. She's better able to interpret legislation. I hate that. I'm not good at it. Paula's very good at it.
It's funny that you say I'm creative to interpret legislation.
So I think that worked really well, especially the early years when we had kids. I spent a lot of time really just around. I'm good at administering stuff and getting systems in place that work really, really well. Mm-hmm. But when we went and visited clients, we have clients scattered all over Australia, and we'd have meetings, and we'd often tag team. And it just worked so well because Paula was also, for a while there, just focused on self-managed super. Mm-hmm. I wasn't doing anything in self-managed super, so she knew that back to front. But she had enough knowledge of everything else. One person would talk, and then we'd tag team, the other person would talk, and we'd both sort of bounce ideas off each other. And we never disagreed on anything. We just flowed very, very naturally.
Mm-hmm. Came up with the best solution together.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So still on this topic, when you're at home, how do you switch off from work?
Well, the last 4 months I don't think I have.
No, that's not surprising.
Oh, look, honestly, our kids are 6, 8 and 11, so I don't think that either of us have a whole heap of time to sit down and switch off from work and switch off from everything else that's got to be done. So obviously anyone running a business knows there's a lot of hours required to get that done. And when that's not happening, there's just a lot of family time and bits and pieces that need to be attended to. The kids are pretty funny.
I don't really see there as being necessarily needing to be a clear delineation either, because we both really enjoy what we do. We enjoy helping clients. We enjoy finding better ways to do things, and because it's something we're passionate about, we like doing. Why draw a line in the sand? So we do spend a lot of time talking about work, and I'm sure our kids probably get sick of hearing it sometimes, but I also want them to be indoctrinated to understand that the work should be something you're passionate about and that you really enjoy doing, and it doesn't have to be isolated to I'm just at the workplace today. It does permeate everything we do.
Yeah. Yeah. I found myself last night waking up thinking about terms and conditions. This is not.
No, the subconscious is an amazing thing.
My subconscious.
Yeah. I've done
it's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
That is hilarious. So describe your lives before Murray Business Solutions and Account Kit. Would you say that accounting is in your blood?
Definitely.
It kind of has to be.
Yeah.
With both our parents are accountants. So my dad is, Paula's dad is. And
discussions around the dinner table are pretty awesome when we're all together.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, well, we both sort of had careers before we landed in accounting. I worked in travel, which I absolutely loved. I used to eat Weet-Bix and spend all of my money hopping on the cheapest plane I could find and go somewhere for a weekend.
Not minding if it took you 48 hours to get there.
No, that's exactly right. So, I travelled a lot in my early 20s, had a great time doing so. But I really just enjoyed the engagement with people, the organisation that was required and putting things together and helping them achieve something that meant something to them, which was great. And I often reflect on that and say the application of those skills is not dissimilar to what I'm doing now. It's just a totally different environment to work in. But I loved working in travel. I was there for probably 5 years altogether. It was great. Yeah. And then jumped into accounting at the veteran age of about 24 or whatever it was. But yeah, I was always going to be an accountant. I look now and go, yes, that was always going to be the path. And I love it. Yeah. Feels like home.
And the only reason you didn't pursue it first was because your dad.
Yeah, I thought that I was not going to go down that path. And Dad said, oh, you don't think you should be an accountant? I thought, oh, okay. I won't do that. Do something else. And then lo and behold, ended up there anyway.
Yeah, so from my point of view, I studied accounting back in the 90s because my dad was an accountant, but I don't have a clue what I want to do. And I had a great time at uni. Didn't necessarily love the topics or anything, but we had so much fun. And I finished that and I love video games, so I started getting into that and joined a startup company in Adelaide called Ratbag.
Yes.
I wasn't good enough to get a job there as an artist, but I offered my services for free. So I said, I'll bring my own computer, I'll sit on a desk by myself and I'll just make stuff. If you like it, you can pay for it. But in the end, I think the accountant side of me, the organisational aspect came to the fore and they ended up putting me on because I was good at organising stuff.
And you wouldn't go away.
I wouldn't go away. They didn't have to pay anything for me just to sit there. And I was willing to do long hours just because I loved doing it. And I think they appreciated that. And I still did do a whole bunch of artwork in the end and it was used in the games and whatnot. But we grew from, I think it was 15 people to around 120 in a pretty short time frame. And I went from artist to lead artist, who's much more of a technical point of view, then through, as we grew our hierarchy, into a producer role. And that's probably where a lot more of my accounting skills started to come in because we started doing budgeting, we're doing hiring and firing and, evolving systems and processes across the entire organisation. So a massive, awesome learning experience.
Yeah.
And but by the time I'd been there 7.5 years or so, I'd had enough of not sleeping and Dad had just opened up a new office and he said, I'd like some help. So I said, hey, I can help you with some of this stuff.
Yes.
And jumped ship and didn't look back. Loved it.
Yeah. Well, that was a great South Australian success story, Ratbag, as well.
It was, It's a shame they got shut down.
Yeah, but exciting for you to be there during that explosive growth phase.
Yeah, I made some of my best friends through that, and they're still really good friends. They're actually all the programmers that I used to work with. Most of them are in LA now, but they're a great bunch of guys, really talented.
What is AccountKit and what was the light bulb moment for its creation?
I don't know if I remember the actual moment that it was a light bulb, but it was part of a longer journey when I went to Xerocon back in 2013 and got really excited about what we could do with accounting data and the change that was going to come with real-time client data. And we had our first children at that point, and I'd rung up Paul and said, I think everything's going to change. And so we ended up moving our practice onto Xero Practice Manager, but as part of that journey, you kind of challenge everything that you're doing. And so much of what we do is sitting in spreadsheets. I'd created so many spreadsheets that did lots of different functions to help us manage the work we do and to help make some of the day-to-day easier. But none of that stuff's connected to our client data. It's all sitting in spreadsheets, which is prone to corruptions, deletion, stuff like that. And somewhere along the way, and I don't know when that point was, so we should build something. Can we build something? And just started doing some design work around it and just happened to have a few contacts that helped us get the thing off the ground. And and haven't looked back. It's certainly much more complex and comprehensive than we ever thought it was going to be. It was going to be a very simple, small toolkit that did a few little things and we'd finish it in a year and we'd release it, and and it looks nothing like that at all.
Famous last words. No, I remember you ringing and saying, I found someone that can build this idea that we've had. And that's where it sort of came to life. The concept existed for a while without the legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, 6 years ago?
Yeah.
A while ago now.
And now it's mutated and kind of taken different forms based on what people are asking for and what.
Yeah, accommodation.
A lot of the ideas have come from just our general application within our own firm, and I think that's always been Account Kit's strength. Is it's not built as a conceptual solution; it's built as a real solution to real problems that we're seeing in our own office. And obviously, accountants love to talk about their practice and their clients and what they do. And I think as a general profession, pretty good at sharing ideas. And so every time you go to a conference, we all talk about what's going on, and it was just a matter of us eventually going, actually, all these issues that we're having with this migration to the cloud and using Xero we're not alone. There's a lot of people experiencing the same thing. So instead of just building a solution for us, maybe it's something we can adapt and make broadly available. And it just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah, we are surprisingly all the same in terms of the same pain points and so forth. And it's still a space where there's not a lot of product in the same space that we're doing. There is a few crossovers here and there. But if people went out and said, I'm going to build just one of those little tools, it doesn't really make sense to build one in isolation. And so Xero refer to us as the Swiss Army knife for accountants, because we just take lots of disparate stuff and
pull it
all together, including data sources from Xero and BGL and a few other providers like that.
So where do you see Account Kit in 5 years?
Where do I want it to be, or where do I see it being?
You could answer both those questions.
5 years. God, if you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have thought it would be a lot further progressed, in all honesty. But the reality is, it's when I look at the growth adoption curve on anything, I can acknowledge that we've been sitting for a long time in the early adopters, innovators area, and the way you sell to them is very different, and they're much more patient with issues. And I see the whole industry has been sitting there, and so we hear a lot of noise on social media from accountants, and you'd almost think, wow, the whole industry is really progressive and up in the cloud, but it represents such a tiny proportion. And so I look at that and go, well, there's still 98% of the market to come, and these are people that want help transitioning from a traditional server-based practice into the cloud. I think, well, that's a massive opportunity for us. Just in Australia alone. Of course, the world market is also massive. We have a lot of tools that work in any market. So where I'd love to be, I'd love to be at a point where we have a few thousand accounting firms, even more ideally in 5 years. It'd be great to have international offices as well, so that we're servicing the worldwide population. So we've got a few clients in New Zealand now, and we've got some people in the US playing with it. But it's nothing that we've progressively pushed into at this stage. But if we got there, that'd be wonderful.
Watch this space. So this might be a bit of a trick question based on that answer then. Do you both feel that you're exactly where you want to be in life?
Look, I do, yeah. It's such an interesting process to be running your own business and having a family, and we've got obviously the two businesses between us and a family, so there's a lot happening. But I genuinely really love it. I really love both businesses. I feel really passionate about the purpose of each of them separately. We've got a lovely team in both businesses, and that's really inspiring. And being able to see that there's an outcome for what you're trying to achieve. So we've I think the COVID situation, which has obviously been awful in many regards, in most regards, has been amazing for us as an accounting firm, because we've just been on the phone to some clients that we perhaps only speak to once, twice a year.
Yes.
And now we've spoken to them 12 times in the last 3 months.
Yes.
But we really feel like we were able to help. We were able to do something in an environment where so many people just couldn't do anything about what was happening around the world. And it gave us a real sense of purpose to say, right, there's been some help made available. How do we make sure that our clients who are eligible can access that? That's been really great. But even from Account Kit's perspective, being able to continue to support and serve their client base and provide cloud-based solutions. I mean, the power
they're going
of
through
that,
the exact same thing that you're.
Exactly, yeah. The power of being able to be there and support them while they're doing the same thing, and just the benefit of it being cloud-based, so that as we've all had to turn around and work from home, it's been achievable for those accountants that have been in that position. So it's been great. I really do. I'm really happy.
She's living her best life.
Yeah, I am. I really am.
Yeah, if you'd asked me over the past few years, I would say probably not. I don't think we had a terrible lot of balance across the last few years. I think we had a period of time where I was working too much on Account Kit and managing the accounting firm while we're also having kids at the same time. There was just too much happening. But we introduced some new balance apart from the COVID, which threw things into a spin. You know, I feel like in the last year we've pulled back a whole pile of balance, and I think at the right time where we're now really enjoying our time with our kids. And we bought a new house which needs a lot of work, but in terms of opportunity to do cool stuff with it and spend more time with the kids, I feel like in this last year it's been a real turning point. And so I'm really, really enjoying myself, enjoying the interactions with my clients, enjoying the interactions with the kids. Yeah, that's good.
If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
No COVID.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I guess, COVID's interesting. Obviously, by and large, it's been shocking from a health point of view, and obviously the economic outcome. It's been horrendous for a lot of people, and you really can't help but feel for that. I think in a very selfish, isolated, particularly South Australian standpoint, we've, been really lucky with what's been presented, and that has given us an opportunity all to see a few silver linings. I think I've had so many discussions with other mums in particular where they've kind of gone, isn't it nice not to have soccer on Monday and swimming on Tuesday and tennis on Wednesday and piano on Thursday, and just that real rat race sense was all just stopped, and obviously for horrible reasons, but it was actually quite nice to take a step back and go, right, let's just do the bare minimum. Let's band together as a little family unit and do what we need to do for ourselves and our community and broader society at large. And I think there were a few silver linings in recognising and appreciating those elements. And I've had a few people say, I hope we can kind of take a little bit of that back into life in a safe environment as we can. And I think that was certainly the case. We were in this mad state of dealing with COVID work-wise, but our little family felt like a team. It's like, right.
Yeah, did the homeschooling and
got to do our thing. And
oh my goodness, you did homeschooling.
Not very well. I didn't do very much homeschooling.
See, I did an awesome job because I created an awesome chart that was up on the wall.
A
spreadsheet that plotted out the day. And the kids had a very, very firm program we worked through every single day. And it worked really well. The kids actually really liked the structure. So we kept the same structure as school. Yeah, so they knew when they had to go out and play. They knew what the rules were.
Yeah.
But I also just enjoyed, so we'd say, okay, well, we're going to do a documentary session today, so you get to choose which one you want to watch, and you have to write down your top 10 points you've learnt and then present them at dinner time.
Cool.
And that was fascinating, just to hearing from the 6-year-old to the 10-year-old. There's quite a vast difference between types.
We still get reminded that your bottom and your mouth were the same thing at one point.
Good. Oh, yes. The development of embryos.
Yes. A very helpful dinner table discussion point. She's mad.
In terms of I thought of anything I'd change, I don't know. Things happen, and they happen usually for a good reason, and they make us who we are. So I probably wouldn't change anything because it helps form the life, and sometimes that may be a bad thing, but you can also look at the bright side and think of the things you've learned about yourself and how you can apply this, not just your own life, but the people that are around you who are also going through a similar experience. You can talk with authority and then exhibit the empathy that these people need. So I don't know. I don't think I'd change a terrible lot.
What is your purpose?
Professionally, I guess with regards to the business, mine is very much about just being there to help and support our clients. I really love the idea that Murray Business Solutions as a firm gives me an avenue personally to say, well, whatever skill set you've got, and everyone's got one that's different, is fine, but being able to really earmark that into your clients and help them with their business and help them either understand their financials or make their financials happen because it's an area that's a real problem for them or creates a bit of anxiety or just a nuisance and something they have to tick the box with. Or for others, it's really about getting to the nuts and bolts and saying, how can we make it better? How can we make this more efficient? I really love that. But I love the fact that the firm itself gives our team an avenue to also deploy that for the clients that they look after. And then MBS itself is a real forum for them to come and be hopefully working in an environment where they feel valued and they feel like they're safe and they can deploy their skills and have a good engagement with clients. So I'm, professionally, I'm very, very focused on that. I feel really passionate about it. I can't see myself wanting to do anything else ever. I guess as a outside of professionally, personally, the family is really, really fun. I actually just love, our family unit and our kids. Obviously, everybody says that, but they really are mad as little hatters, but they're great fun. So the weekends when you see what outfit the 6-year-old's going to come up with today, how many spots, stripes and colours can we get into one arrangement? And middle child's currently got very few teeth, so he looks a bit special. He
looks like Bugs Bunny. He's lost these two.
He's got about 4 missing altogether, so I feel like we might have a few dental bills in our future. But no, that's probably where I'm focused for sure.
No, purpose. I think of, I guess there's multiple elements to it. There's my broader life goal. My purpose is to make sure that my family are well provided for, that we're educating our children, not just in the traditional maths and sciences, but how to be emotionally intelligent. And if I can help my kids grow up with some realistic expectations, not to be entitled, that is a core underlying focus. Because if we can generate a good human being, they can generate a lot of good in the world. And I think through us working well together in the two businesses we have, having them watch and observe and learn and let us share how we run our lives and how we try and make it all work, but also letting them know when we fail and how we're failing and what we're trying to do to address it, that we're not perfect, that it's always a battle to learn. For me, that's a core underlying part of my whole purpose, I think. I happen to love helping people with things around accounting and systems and processes and templating and how can we do things better. Often when I talk to accountants about AccountKit, it's often not about AccountKit, it's often just about their practice and sharing ideas and issues around our own struggles and being very transparent about, you hear a lot of noise, don't listen to it. It's hard work. This is hard work, and it's perfectly okay to struggle and fight with it. And so I think they feel refreshed that don't just have another sales guy selling at them. We're here to talk about
being in the trenches together.
Yeah, exactly. And we're happy to talk about it and be really transparent. I really like doing that, even if it's got nothing to do with AccountKit. So I think that's a core part. If I can help the accounting industry prosper and do well, because if we can recover time, the way we spend our time, so we can redirect it to help clients or spend more time with our families, and then I think that's an amazing outcome for the industry. I think we can help facilitate that and drive that.
Is there anything that I haven't asked you that I should have?
Are there any other initiatives in our world that I think might be helpful to accountants and bookkeepers? Yes. So we started something back in January called the Accountants Tech User Group. And it's a agnostic group for accountants to get together, and it is localized to accountants and bookkeepers in public practice, where we can get together and talk about technology, because there are so many applications and there's no way you can be across them all. And so there are a lot of people that are very progressive, that have tried lots of different solutions, and people are scared to change because they are hamstrung by their time restraints and so forth. They can't try everything out. They don't want to try everything out because it's expensive to try something and try it for a significant period of time and go, that didn't work.
Stick at it for a year just because you blame yourself, not the technology.
Yeah, exactly right. So the idea of this is to bring accountants together to talk in an open forum about
their experience.
What do we do? How do I do it? And people can transparently say, I'm trying this, I want to do this, this is really painful for me. How do I do this better? And everyone can just go, oh yeah, don't use that. That works really well. Ignore what the sales guy's saying over here. That's not quite right. And they can cut through a lot of the fluff. And we should be able to lift the general standard of accounting and quality of life and all sorts through doing so.
So where did you start that? Is that a group online, or is that an association, or what did you...
No, it's just something we started. We created a name and a logo and said we want, because especially in SA is really slow to adapt to new technology, I feel, and I certainly hear that from a lot of the app providers. And it came kind of out of that, and also from our own practice going, we don't know which direction to turn. We've progressed so far along the line. We need something that we can start to talk about. And part of it also came from a group that Paula's dad and my dad were a part of called the
Practice Management Group.
And they'd get together every month. They'd share templates, processes, statistics, everything.
Right.
And I
feel like accountants are much better at doing this than lawyers.
I can't comment on that.
No, can't.
But they did that for years, and I think all their firms benefited massively from it. And it's like, that's such an awesome idea. And it was in the back of my mind, but I went to a Xero Practice Manager user group in Gold Coast, and it was just really personal. It's a really tight, small group, and everyone was really transparent. And they didn't really talk about Xero Practice Manager, just talked about everything they were doing and the problems they were having. And I went, I miss that. And so we started this group, and we put a call out to a few guys like, Ali from All In, and those guys came along and they presented. And if it was just us and them, I'd still be happy.
Yeah.
Because we're sharing.
You get heaps out of it.
Yeah, heaps of cool ideas. So
it's an in-person thing. How do people, I guess I'm asking, how do people find you and get involved?
If they do a search for Accountants Tech User Group in the event, in Eventbrite.
Okay.
It'll turn up in there.
Yes.
And we hold it. Well, we've only done it twice. We did it once online and once in person. But the next one's going to be later on this month.
Okay.
I think around July 27. And it's just over on Highmarsh Square.
Perfect.
In the boardroom. And yeah, it's just good fun to share ideas.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for coming along today.
Thanks, Sarah.
Great. It's good fun.
Thanks for tuning in to the podcast today. If you're still listening, you can find the show notes on our website, youlegal.com.au. You're welcome to go ahead and subscribe, leave a review, and share the podcast with anyone that you think might benefit from it, anyone that you think is open to helping us create a world with a purpose that's higher than profit. If you're an accountant on purpose, feel free to find our Facebook page and join our community.